Consequences of workplace violence. You have been exposed to some examples of workplace violence in the last lesson. Can you imagine what would happen if the violence occurs in your workplace? Negative effects of violence at work may be observed at a personal and an organizational level, as well as in society as a whole. These negative effects may be economic or non-economic towards financial and/or human. The costs may be a direct result of violence at work or an indirect consequence of it. At personal level, post-traumatic symptoms such as fear, phobias, and sleeping difficulties may arise. In extreme cases, most traumatic stress disorder can also occur. Violence causes enormous pain and suffering, and sometimes even disability or death. Whilst at the organizational level, negative effects increase sickness, absenteeism, and early retirement costs, increase turnover rates and replacement costs. Negative effects also reduce productivity, damage to production or equipment costs in connection with grievances and litigation. As for society level, we all pay for the negative effects of violence at work, whether it is through deteriorated relationships with family, friends, and colleagues, or through higher taxes to cover state-financed health care, rehabilitation costs, unemployment, and retraining costs for victims. In addition, workplace violence may also increase the level of fear and anxiety in society. A high level of workplace violence may ultimately cause staff to leave for other countries. Now try to look around your workplace. Are there cases of violence as described earlier occur in your workplace? If no, keep on preventing your working environment from any violence. You may refer to any related guidelines provided for the prevention of violence at the workplace. What if the answer is yes? How to deal with workplace violence? Here are some guidelines. Number 1, create a supportive work environment in which violence is not tolerated. Number 2, train supervisors to recognize signs of a troubled employee. Number 3, provide personal counseling for workers. Number 4, establish procedures for handling grievances. Number 5, train managers and employees to resolve conflict in a peaceful manner. Number 6, implement security programs that protect employees from internal and external risks. And number 7, set up a crisis management plan. Lastly, if the situation is one where you feel you are at immediate risk of injury at work, you can refuse to work in this dangerous situation. OSHA 1994 gives you the right to refuse to work where you believe you are in immediate danger. You have been explained about workplace violence. Let us conclude and recap the key points. Every worker has the right to be safe and free from risk of injury when they are at work. Physical attacks are obviously dangerous and easier to identify than verbal abuse or threats, but persistent psychological or verbal abuse or threats can also harm health, often through anxiety and stress. Ultimately, workplace violence can have negative effects towards individual, organization, as well as society. Therefore, not only employees also have to play a role in preventing workplace violence. Thank you.